Hello students, in our yesterday's class we discussed about the nucleic acids, yes or no? So what are nucleic acids, how they are formed, what are the chemicals involved in the formation of nucleic acids, that is DNA and RNA. As we know that DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid and RNA, that is ribonucleic acids. So while writing the structure of DNA and RNA, definitely we need nucleosides and nucleotides, and easy to remember and easy to understand, I told you some formula, that is when pentose sugar combines with any one of the nitrogenous base. Here the word any one of the means it may be adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, uracil, whatever. So when the pentose sugar combines with nitrogenous base, which gives nucleosides. So the same time when we add phosphoric acid in the form of phosphate to the nucleoside, definitely which yield nucleotides, so that the long chain of nucleotides is called as DNA or RNA, simply called as nucleic acids. Clear? At the same time we also discussed about primary and secondary metabolites. So the word metabolites means some of the chemical compounds which are synthesized by the plants, fungus and microbes during their growth, development, whatever. So in that we are going to classify two. One is primary metabolites and secondary metabolites. Primary metabolites means those chemical compounds which are synthesized by the plants, fungus and microbes during their growth and development, and they are directly involved in the normal physiology of the plant body or fungal body or microbial body, then growth, development, etc. So they are considered as primary metabolites, and those primary metabolites are sugar, nothing but polysaccharide, nothing but carbohydrate, one more is protein, third one is lipid, and fourth one is nucleic acids. So these four are considered as primary metabolites, and the chemical compounds which are synthesized by the plant body or fungal body or microbial body, which are other than these four, nothing but carbohydrate, proteins, lipids and nucleic acids, and remaining all are considered as secondary metabolites. So those secondary metabolites are, I told you, that is tannin, flavonoids, scent, rubber, then pigments, spices, yes or no? So these all simply considered as secondary metabolites. So those all primary as well as secondary metabolites are present in the plant body, fungal body or microbial body. And today we are moving on to the next one more topic called as biomacromolecules. See, when you split this word, you are going to get bio means bio refers to those chemicals present in the living system. Macro means large. Macro means large. So next word is molecules. So those large molecules which are present in the living system, those large molecules which are present in the living system or living tissues, it may be in the plant body or it may be in the animal body or it may be in the microbial body, are considered as macrobiomolecules. So what mean by this we'll discuss in today's class. See, first of all, the very important concept to understand is, when we understand, I mean the common feature for all is, that is a very common feature for all chemicals is, so they are, I mean they contain 18 to 800 Daltons as their molecular weight. This the common feature is that, so most of the chemical compounds, their molecular formula, their molecular weight is 18 to 800 Daltons. This is almost common feature in all chemical compounds. In that, particularly we are talking about, I mean to say, if I particularly talk about the fraction, that is acid insoluble fraction. As we know that acid insoluble fraction. See here, the word acid insoluble fraction means, again you come back to the chemical analysis experiment. Here we have a test tube. Test tube is covered by that is, I told you, cheesecloth, and when you pour the content from the mortar, you will be having two fractions. One is here, that can be present in the filter, and second one, filter, that is cheesecloth. Second one is which is present within the test tube. So this is called as acid soluble. Do remember, acid soluble, and here is considered as acid insoluble. Acid insoluble. So here what I am trying to tell you is that, so those chemical compounds are present in the acid soluble, their molecular weight is 18 to 800 Daltons. Clear? This is one thing. And second one is those chemicals which are present in the cheesecloth, we can call it as acid insoluble fraction or retentate. I told you the word, the technical word is retentate. So there the chemical, the molecular weight is more than 10,000. Do remember. So those chemical compounds which are present in the acid insoluble fraction, there the molecular weight is more than 10,000 Daltons. That is, so those chemical compounds which are present in the acid insoluble fractions are nothing but sugar, simply called as polysaccharide. Second one is protein, lipid, and nucleic acid. So these are what? These four are considered as, these four are simply considered as macromolecules. These four are considered as macromolecules, and these are considered as micromolecules, are simply called as microbiomolecules. Microbiomolecules are simply called as biomolecules. Simply called as biomolecules. I hope you understand. So when you take this experiment, in this, whatever the chemical compounds are present in the acid insoluble, there the molecular weight is more than 10,000 Daltons or above. Clear? And those chemical compounds which are present in the acid insoluble are sugar, protein, lipid, and nucleic acids. They are simply called as macromolecule or macrobiomolecules. Macromolecules or macrobiomolecules. And those chemical compounds which are present in the acid soluble, their molecular weight is 18 to 800 Daltons. So their molecular weight is 18 to 800 Daltons, are simply called as micromolecules. Microbiomolecules are simply called as biomolecules. That is the name of our chapter. In that, I can tell two definitions. So those chemicals present in the living system, those chemicals which are present in the living system, or the living system contains some of the chemical compounds, and there the molecular weight is, those chemical compounds and their molecular weight is more than 1000, or first we can write less than 1000. Less than 1000 Dalton are simply considered, I told you, microbiomolecules. Simple. So the any chemical compound or those chemical compounds their molecular weight is less than 1000 daltons are considered as microbiomolecules, are simply considered as micromolecules or biomolecules. Same time, one more definition is those chemical compounds their molecular weight is more than 1000 daltons are considered as macromolecules. Macromolecules are also called as biomacromolecules. I mean the name of our topic. Simple. So those chemicals their molecular weight is more than 1000 daltons. More than 1000 daltons are considered as biomacromolecules. Here I told you people, that is acid insoluble fraction. Yes or no? Acid insoluble fraction. So there which contains sugar, protein, nucleic acids, their molecular weight is more than 10,000 daltons or even more than the 10,000. So that here according to our statement, those chemical compounds their molecular weight is more than 1000. Just they are categorizing more than 1000, but here you will be having 10,000. So that these are considered as macrobiomolecules or biomacromolecules. Clear? So this is one. At the same time, see here acid insoluble fraction. Acid insoluble fraction. I told you there the molecular weight is 10,000 daltons. Yes or no? So the molecular weight is 10,000 daltons. Here I told you right now this acid insoluble fraction includes sugar, protein, lipid and nucleic acids. But a very small thing to understand is out of these four, lipid is, the molecular weight of the lipid is less than 1000 daltons. Please do remember. Yes, very important to understand. Even though the lipid belongs to the macrobiomolecule, their molecular weight is less than 1000 according to our statement. Those chemical compounds their molecular weight is less than 1000. They are simply considered as microbiomolecules. Yes or no? But here lipid belongs to the macromolecule. If I want to say macromolecule means their molecular weight must be more than 1000 daltons. Yes or no? But here lipid molecular weight is less than 1000 but belongs to macromolecules. So you can ask a question, sir, why, how? Yes or no? So when you put a question mark, why lipid belongs to the macrobiomolecule even though their molecular weight is less than 1000 daltons. Why? Because this lipid is present in the cell membrane. Lipid is present in the cell membrane in the form of phospholipids. I told you yesterday. Yes or no? Phospholipids. At the same time, see what I am trying to tell you is that when this lipid is present in the cell membrane, that is in the form of phospholipids, while conducting the experiment, that is chemical analysis, will take mortar and take biological sample and pistol, add Cl3CCOH, that is trichloroacetic acid. While grinding, do remember, while grinding we are going to rupture the cell membrane. Am I right or wrong? So here the word biological sample means animal tissue or plant tissue. Tissue means they are made up of cells. So here we are grinding this tissue means definitely we are grinding means we are rupturing the cell including cell membrane. So that while grinding, do remember the point, while grinding cell membrane become rupture. Clear this? So when the cell membrane become rupture, definitely it is going to become small pieces. Clear? So it will become small pieces, and those small pieces can run along with these three, that is sugar, protein and nucleic acids. Clear? While separating, so these small pieces become, that is lipid globules, small lipid globules, that is water insoluble globules. So those water insoluble globules can be retained on the cheesecloth here. Clear this? So for that reason, even though the molecular weight of the lipid is less than 1000, they are categorized into macrobiomolecule or macromolecules, where their molecular weight is more than 10,000. This is what the small concept about the biomacromolecules. And by understanding all these concepts, finally I can tell you a single statement, that is, those all chemical compounds, their molecular weight is less than 1000 Daltons are called as micromolecules, microbiomolecules or biomolecules. And those all chemical compounds which are present in the living system, their molecular weight is more than 1000 Daltons. More than 1000 Daltons are simply considered as macromolecule, macrobiomolecules. This is our topic. Clear? And small confusion is that is lipid. Lipid is considered as macromolecule, but it is not obeying the rule of the statement, because the molecular weight of the lipid is less than 1000, but even though it is considered as a macrobiomolecule. Clear? This is what our today's topic. Yes, and I will move on to the next topic. At the same time, by understanding all this, yes, yes, when we have cell cytoplasm, this is a cell cytoplasm, and one more is, that is what? Cell organelles. So again, this cell organelle, there is cell cytoplasm and cell organelles contain different molecules. Yes or no? So this cell organelle contain macromolecules. Macromolecules, and they contain micromolecules. See, acid soluble and acid insoluble. So acid soluble means cell cytoplasm composition, and macromolecules nothing but acid insoluble. They are nothing but they are present within the cell organelles. This is what the whole topic regarding the biomacromolecules. And we have one more small topic, that is protein. Yes, next topic we have protein. Yes, what is protein now? Tell me. Fundamental question. What is protein? Protein is a polymer of amino acids. A refers to amino acids. I mean to say, protein is made up of long chain of amino acids. It may be 100, it may be 200, it may be 500, it may be several thousands of amino acids linked together. They can form the what? A unit called as protein. So that very simple definition is that protein is nothing but long chain of amino acid, simply called as polymer of amino acid. Say for example, we will be having one amino acid, and here we will be having one more amino acid, and we have one more amino acid, and we have one more amino acid. Imagine. So here first amino acid, second, third, fourth. These all four amino acids are interlinked by. These all are interlinked by. This is, we can call it as what? Peptide bond. Please note it. Yes, CET question. The bond which is present in the protein or in between the amino acids is called as peptide bond. Yes, I mean these two are interlinked by the peptide bond. Yes, this is what. Next, when you take protein, that protein is considered as heteropolymer. Protein is always considered as heteropolymer. Yes, can you tell me what is heteropolymer? And one more word is there, homopolymer. Heteropolymer, homopolymer. See, first we'll discuss homopolymers, that is heteropolymer. What is heteropolymer? Yes, we'll understand one by one. Hetero means different. Hetero means different. Poly refers to many. Poly refers to many. Mers refers to units. Yes, there are three words. Different, many, units. So how can you make a sentence? Many amino acid, many different amino acid units together, heteropolymer. Clear? Once again, many different amino acid units or many different units. Here the word units means protein is made up of units, nothing but amino acids. Clear? In protein, amino acids are the units, so that protein is made up of many different amino acid units. So hence it is called as heteropolymer. Clear? I mean to say that, as I told you, till now our scientists have discovered at least 20 different types of amino acids. At least 20 different types of amino acids. So here I can tell you the one such example. A protein called X, whatever the name, a protein called X. That protein is made up of 100 amino acids. So these all 100 amino acids together, that can make a protein called as X. In that, here there is a chain of amino acids. In that, first, second, third, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to 100 amino acids. In that, first amino acid is alanine, glutamine, valine, tryptophan, then again valine, again tryptophan, yes or no, glutamine, etc. Yes. When you understand this diagrammatic or the example, here the protein called as X made up of 100 amino acids, yes or no, and these 100 amino acids are not same, are not similar, yes or no. Here first amino acid is alanine, definitely second one is glutamine, yes or no. So now these two are different, yes or no. I mean to say these 100 amino acids are different, not similar, hence it is called as heteropolymer. Clear? If I want to call it as a homopolymer means, again say an example, a protein called Y made up of 100 amino acids. Imagine, just imagine. Yes, a protein called Y made up of 100 amino acids. Again we have a chain made up of 100 amino acids. That is first amino acid and it is 100 amino acid. Here first one is alanine, second one is alanine, third one is alanine, fourth one is alanine, 100 one is considered as alanine. Yes. Now can you make a difference? Yes, definitely. In Y protein, all 100 amino acids are made up of same amino acid called as alanine, alanine, alanine. Yes or no? So called as homo, same, poly, many, mer units. That is many same units. Many means it may be 100 together or 1000 together. So made up of many same units, homopolymer, different units, heteropolymer. But unexpectedly in the nature, no protein is homopolymer. Please note this word, in the nature no protein is belongs to the homopolymer. All proteins in the nature are considered as heteropolymer, nothing but they are made up of at least one different types of amino acid, hence called as heteropolymer. This is one thing. Clear? This is what and I think this is enough for today's class, and remaining things we'll discuss in tomorrow's class. Thank you very much.